I wanted to leave one on uh, Amazon that was updated, but the one I had, they said, does not follow the community guidelines. So, uh, Lascivious Romanticism, the book of Shangri-La, Stories of Classic Erotica, is a book written by Carlos, the poet, Brother God King Life. And he did the design on the book. It focuses on romantic, erotica, and poetic themes. Available in paperback and hard copy, frequently listed on Amazon and Barnes and Nobles. Carlos is an international self-published author and poet known for his work in the erotic romance genre. This delivers a soulful masterpiece. He didn't simply write, he transports. This is the recent review that he has up currently now on Amazon. His latest work is more than a poetry collection. It's an immersive experience of sensuality, intellect, and artistic elevation. Each piece is crafted with care and intention, blending eroticism with elegance and raw emotion with refined language. The themes are mature and provocative, yet never lose their poetic depth. This isn't surface level seduction, it's fire wrapped in silk desire narrated with wisdom. From the striking visuals to the resonant audio renditions online, the experience extends beyond the page. The voice and visuals enrich the poetry, creating a multi-sensory connection that makes the work unforgettable. Kaigler proves once again that erotica can be both classy and daring, an art form that ignites the mind as much as it stirs the heart. A powerful read for lovers of elevated, soulful erotica. Well, I wanted to do an update. Rituals of Desire, a critical reading of Lascivious Romanticism. In story one, in this opening story, Carlos builds a world where atmosphere is not background, it is a character in itself. The scenery is rendered with lush, almost ritualistic detail where sensory elements like aroma like symbolism are woven seamlessly into everyday interactions. Even greeting, speech, and dismissal carry a ceremonial weight, giving the narrative a distinctively poetic and spiritual texture. The story centers on Miss Dosette's store, but the true movement unfolds between Mr. Rivalry and sensualist Oshun, a cab driver whose presence disrupts the boundary between transit and intimacy. Mr. Rivalry, already familiar with Oshun's services, is on his way to see Miss Dosette. Yet the journey itself becomes the focal point of transformation. Caught in traffic, tension shifts into psychological and sensual interplay. The dynamic between Oshun and Mr. Rivalry introduces BDSM undertones, with power exchanged through language, presence, and restraint rather than spectacle. Oshun is written as both guide and provocateur. She does not merely transport him, she initiates him into a different mode of perception. As the narrative unfolds, despite desire competes with destination, Mr. Rivalry's fixation on reaching Miss constraints with the immediate seduction of Oshun's world, where pleasure, chaos, and liberation exist in the present moment. The invitation into her space and the offer of her vehicle becomes symbolic of surrendering control versus maintaining pursuit. Ultimately, the story but meaningful shift. Mr. Rivalry returns to Oshun, having undergone a subtle internal recalibration. The journey functions less as a erotica escapade and more as a lesson in attention, desire, and misdirection, where what is sought is not always what is meant to be consumed in the moment. Oh, thank you. At random_event-fr and at Tita Stay 143. Oh, Thank you. Random said, I'm so pretty. And Tita Stay said, how are you doing? I'm a huge fan. Welcome, my love. Good to see you today. Doing a book review, boo. I just finished doing an interview with two of the people from International Poetry Horror Collective and one of the young phenomenal poets in my group. I'm doing a review on the book. I'm okay today. Thank you. I appreciate you. And I'm glad you're a huge fan. Yes, indeed. I appreciate your energy and being here. Okay, so story number 2. The second story expands the book's sensual world building into a coastal, kinetic landscape where motion, freedom, and conversation become intertwined. Levi, a self-directed businessman on his motorcycle, referred to symbolically as his chopper, is portrayed through a lens of romanticized machinery and masculine mythology. The motorcycle is not just transport. It is personified as companion, extension, and emotional mirror. At the shoreline, he encounters Helena, a woman depicted in stillness and autonomy, smoking a cigar, occupying space with calm authority and resisting interruption. Her presence is self-contained. She is not waiting, not performing, simply being. Their interaction unfolds through negotiation rather than pursuit. Levi's approach is measured and Helena's boundaries are explicit, establishing a dynamic rooted in consent, awareness, and verbal tension. What follows is a layered exchange of philosophy, attraction, humor, and cultural reflection. As they move from beach to shared space, the narrative expands into richly detailed environments, jazz-infused interiors, curated aesthetics, and sensory specificity that emphasizes taste, scent, sound, and texture. The world becomes immersive, almost cinematic. Oh, yeah. As conversation deepens into themes of survival, legacy, protection, wealth, and emotional honesty. Helena's revelations and Levi's responses create a rhythm of emotional risk balanced with grounded presence. The story ultimately blends sensual intimacy with intellectual exchange, framing connection not as instant gratification, but as layered unfolding. Baby, story number 3. Whew. A notable strength of this work beyond narrative content is its visual presentation. The accompanying artwork throughout the book, and especially the cover and story illustrations, is executed with precision and intentionality. It functions not as decoration, but as an extension of the storytelling itself, reinforcing mood, tone, and the thematic immersion across each chapter. This marks a tonal shift in the collection. It is less about gradual seduction and more about immediate entry into an environment that feels both sacred and forbidden. The story begins with a man passing by an unfamiliar establishment, an exterior that seems ordinary at first glance, yet draws attention through the steady emergence of beautiful women, suggesting something layered beneath the surface. Curiosity leads him inside. What follows is not framed as conventional interaction, but as an encounter with structured, erotic ecosystem governed by a madam who functions as both gatekeeper and orchestrator. When asked what he wants, his response to choose becomes the catalyst for everything that unfolds. Now, I can't give you everything that happened, but you should run out and buy this book immediately. Okay? I had such a great time with it. And I do have one more of his books to read, but I started with this one. Okay? Awesomeness. I thank you for tuning in today with me, loves. I'm going to get ready for my chariot that I already called. And I'm going to go do a few picks before the chariot gets here. All right. I see you tomorrow.